by Scott Westerfeld. The Three Takeaways. Created and presented by Grayson Vaughn, Hannah Moore, Morgan Allison, Sydney Drake, Tripp Ellis, and Tyler Thomas. The year is 1914, and a world war has erupted across Europe. In Scott Westerfeld's Leviathan, however, the Allied and Central Powers have been replaced by the Darwinists and the Clankers. In this alternative steampunk version of World War I, Prince Alec, a Clanker, flees his home of Austria-Hungary after his parents' assassination. Meanwhile, Darren Sharp, a girl masquerading as a boy, enters the British Air Service. Darren ends up as a midshipman aboard the Leviathan, the Air Service's largest fabricated warship. The two meet on a glacier in Switzerland because of a Huxley, bad weather, the Leviathan, a mysterious boffin, Stormwalker, and some German aeroplanes. The Central Powers of World War I, known as the Clankers in the Leviathan, are the countries that rely on machines for war. They are the orthodox or conservative group of the novel, and they are repeatedly disgusted by the Darwinists' abominations. The Clanker countries include Germany and Ottoman Europe. The Darwinists in the Leviathan represent the World War I era Allied powers. They are called the Darwinists because they used their discoveries of Charles Darwin, who, in this timeline, discovered DNA and learned how to alter it, to genetically modify and fabricate living weapons of war. The Allied powers include the United Kingdom and France. The three main takeaways from the Leviathan are trust, woman's power struggle, and human greed. Trust. Alec has to trust Darren in order to survive on the Leviathan, and vice versa. Darren's place in the military depends on her ability to pull the facade of a boy, and Dr. Barlow keeping her age a secret. "How old are you, Mr. Sharp?" Darren blinked. She couldn't speak. "With a face that smooth, not 16, Dr. Barlow continued, or perhaps 14, or younger." A squick of hope began to trickle through Darren. Had the Lady Boffin guessed the wrong secret? She decided to tell the truth. "Barely 15, ma'am." The second main takeaway is the women's power struggle in the world. Although women were not allowed to be in the British Air Service, Darren got into it and outdid her comrades. Also, many women were not allowed to be boffins or experienced doctors, but the Lady Boffin is the best boffin in Britain. While these women have to struggle for power, they'll marry their male counterparts, who are not always as qualified, get into it with little to no resistance. This book fights these older ideals and shows that rules and regulations are not always correct. Human greed is the most important and relevant takeaway from the Leviathan. The ever-present lure of greed proves to be the major cause for the war in the Leviathan. Greed is the root cause of the war between the Clankers and the Darwinists. The leaders of the instigators desired and continue to desire more land, money, and coercive power. This is seen in the book when Alec's uncle, the Emperor of Austria-Hungary, tries to kill Alec so that he will not control everything. A side character named Count Vulgar might as well be the manifestation of greed. This can be seen when Alec throws the gold bars off the Leviathan to save the ship, but Vulgar tries to stop him.
A quote from the book that shows greed is, "The Empire has wanted war with Serbia for years now."
Trust, women's power struggles, and greed are the main takeaways from the Leviathan. You know all there is to know. You have a choice: Darwinists or Clankers. Do you oil your war machines or feed them?